Right. Good evening, everybody. It is 7 p.m. I'm sorry that it's been such a long while between these live talks, but we are back up and running. We've got a good schedule now of people who actually want to talk to us. So that's wonderful. So welcome, Emily. Emily Morris is Houdini Eventing, and I've followed Emily for quite a while now on socials, and you're just living the dream that I want to get to with with my horses. So welcome, Emily. And how are you this evening?
Yeah, very good.
Good. So let's start with tell us a little bit about your riding story. So I love to find out why or what got you into horses.
My parents decided it'd be a good idea to take me and my brother to a riding school, and they actually took us out on a hack. And I've basically loved horses since then. I was about 8 or 9 at the time. And then my nan told my parents that getting a pony would be a cheap lawnmower. So
maybe
yeah.
cheap to cut the grass, maybe not in other ways.
Yeah, they don't do a very good job at cutting the grass either.
True.
So I got my first pony when I was about 8 or 9, and she was supposed to be sort of a well done horse, done all this. She certainly was not. In hindsight, she was 7 years old, so very green, but
yeah,
we're a non-horsey family, so we knew no different. She taught me how to sit up. She did not like to jump one bit, but neither did I. I only started jumping when I got a pony called Reggie, which was, I was about 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. So I was literally just about to start secondary school when I started jumping, and I was absolutely terrified of jumping. And I started eventing 2016. I don't think I'd ever really evented before. I think I'd evented like a pony club and stuff like that. And I did my first event at Chilham Castle. And basically what happened was my dad entered the BE event, not really telling me what it was. And I sort of caught the eventing bug from that.
It's easily caught, I have to say. What was the one bit of the eventing that you thought, that's it, that's what I want to do?
Cross country.
Always, like, we've got this kind of insane, it's that feeling of, I always think it's like when you feel like you've cheated death when you get over the finish flags. It's just kind of like, yes, I survived that course, and you search for that kind of high all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you entered the BE event. How did that go?
Not too badly. Bear in mind, Oscar, we bought as a show jumping pony because at that point I was show jumping. I mean, when I say show jumping, it was 70, 80 centimeters. But I think I got a decent dressage. I'm not really sure. It was a long time ago. I know I had the last fence show jumping because this pony is very attached to my mum, and he saw her at the last fence and lost his concentration. But I remember I did have a stop at the first fence cross country, and I was told it's because I didn't ride positively into it.
More leg.
Yeah, more leg.
That's all I get told all the time. The answer to everything, more leg.
More leg. Yep. Something I've had to learn over the years.
I know. There was people are quite nice and they'll say to me, "You're quite a sympathetic rider." Basically the same. I can't use my legs. So yeah, more leg into the first fence.
Yeah.
So how did it go after that then?
We actually had a pretty good season. I think he got quite a few placings. Bearing in mind, I don't think our dressage was any good back then. I think he got quite a few placings. I think he was only out of the top 10 twice, which wasn't bad.
Yeah.
And then I took my other show jumping horse the year after, and I decided to enter BE 90. And I've been doing BE 90 since.
That's all right. That's one up from where I am at the minute. 90 still scares the Jesus out of me. So
yeah, it does me too.
Brilliant. And so what horses have you got at the moment then that you are?
So currently I've got Oscar, who is 23 now, He
Oh,
is sort of retired. He comes out when we need him to. He just does his thing. His show name's Tangfastic Oscar, and the reason he's Tangfastic Oscar is when he came to us, his passport said Oscar. He loves the Haribo Tangfastic sweets, so
yeah,
that's how he got his name.
love
We've
it.
also got Easily Vivendia, who is Betty, also known as Elizabeth. She acts a bit like a queen around.
Is she your Grey? Is she the
Yeah.
Grey? Yeah, I
She rules
love.
the place.
Yeah, and do you know what? Tech's an amazing photograph, doesn't she? Yeah, you've got some beautiful photographs of her on your socials.
She sees the camera come out and she's like, "Look at me, everyone."
Yeah, she definitely takes a great photo.
So she's my current event horse at 90. I've done a couple of hundreds on her. And then I've got Filden's Tom Pride, who I bought in November last year. And he is Tom. And he's now 5. And he's just learning about eventing.
How's that going?
Yeah. Cross country isn't great.
Does he know what he's doing yet? Bless him.
No.
It's hard.
He canters through ditches. We won't go near water at the moment.
Well, yeah, I've only just ticked that off with Reg, and that's taken 2 years. So
Yeah,
good luck.
We'll have to do lots of beach trips with him.
Oh, any excuse for a
Exactly.
beach trip. See, I think we were speaking about it just before we went live. Youngsters are just difficult, aren't they? I think you forget that you've got to take it right back to the beginning and start from scratch, really, with them. And they're all different. So yeah, you're doing amazing with him. So your plans probably with him is just to kind of let him see the world a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah, we bought him as a project. When we went to go see him, he literally could not walk or trot. He had a rider on his back and he went, "Yeah, I'll just stand by the gate." And for some reason we decided to buy him. We had no clue if he could jump. So we just went, "Oh, we'll see what happens." Mad as we are.
Yeah, sometimes they make the best ones though. I think you get a gut instinct.
He just had such an amazing character, and because we got him straight from the breeder, we met his whole family and we were just like, just on a temperament alone, we went, yeah, we'll have him. Yeah. We almost bought his half sister too.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said for good temperament on the ground, isn't there? Yeah. I always think as long as they're good people to handle and everything else, you can work the ridden work will come, and they'll either like it or they won't, or you can always find something that they'll slot into, can't you? So yeah, I would hate to be dragged around by a bad horse. So yeah,
I've had a few of those. I've had one who would load himself onto the ramp and then he'd come off the ramp and drag you around the garden.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's not what you want when you're competing, though, is it? On event day, that's not really what you want in the morning.
No, it's stressful enough as it is.
So are you solely eventing then now? That's the discipline that you've chosen and that's what you're focusing on?
Yeah, so I do quite a bit of riding club as well. So a lot of show jumping, eventing and dressage. Mm-hmm. But I do like my dressage.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a weirdo.
You're a very strange eventer. You're the first one I've really met that likes dressage. What is it about the dressage that it's too hard for me? So what is it about the dressage that you like?
I think it stems from being absolutely terrified to jump when I was younger. So I always used to just do flat work. And it helps that Betty is a wonderful dressage horse. It's a case of she has just brought the joy of dressage for me. Mm-hmm. I used to hate it before I had her. It was like, oh, dressage again. Because Houdini, the horse who I had evented before her, I mean, he hated dressage.
True.
We just wanted the jumps.
Yeah, true cross country kind of horse that just wanted to get on with the end bit. Is that where the name comes from then? Obviously, Houdini eventing. Yeah.
So basically, Houdini was a show jumper that we bought. And I produced him to an event, but I was told he'd never go B100 and he'd never be a very good event horse. And we sort of go by the anything is possible.
Mhm.
Because he literally showed us that anything is possible. And I was told by numerous people that horse would never go hundreds and do well. And we sort of proved them all wrong. And he sort of got me around quite a few events. So that's where Houdini eventing sort of came from.
I think sometimes that kind of message gives you a drive. It gives you the drive to say, do you know what? I'm going to show you that I can, or he will. And I think you get that next level where you just push yourself that little bit extra just to show people that actually I can do it. And I love that about
that's
horses.
the type of person I am. Someone goes, you can't do it. It's a bit like, don't press that red button and I'll go press it.
Yeah, it's like people say you can't do that. You're like, watch me. I can. If I want to do it, I'll give it a go. And that's fantastic. So one of the things that I love about on your socials is you've qualified for badminton 2022.
Yes, that's rather exciting.
How exciting is that? Tell me about how it came to your qualification. So is it on Betty that you've?
Yes. So we went to the area festival final thing in May, and I'd only done 2 events on her, and I've had a very rocky, like up and down seasons with her. I've never had a season where I've consistently done well. So I knew it was going to be a massive test. It was a championship course. And she just sort of went, oh, okay, I could do this. She ended up coming 10th, which was brilliant. And at the time, we didn't think we'd qualified, and we sort of went, oh, there's always another year. And then we got the email through in August saying we'd qualified, which was
fantastic.
A bit of a shock.
I think they changed the percentage B, didn't they? In because I know there's a lot of people waiting to see if they would actually move the percentage to make like the top 10, basically get into the badminton, and they did, which was amazing for so many people. Where was the area festival at that you went to?
At Fell Place.
Right. Okay. And how did you find the course? It was definitely.
It was testing.
Yeah, a little bit different.
I think I ended up. There was one combination, although it was separately numbered, so it wasn't a combination, where you had to jump 2 jumps on an angle because they put a Christmas tree in it there, and I ended up taking the long route because it's like, just be safe. Well, let's have a nice time. And I wasn't really expecting anything. I'd had a pole, so I went, well, we're out of it now, sort of thing.
Yeah,
I was just happy to get around.
And get around you did, and qualified for next year. So how's the preparation going for that then?
Well, not great, unfortunately.
Oh no.
She is currently on holiday.
Oh.
We think where she's just had a very busy season. She just needs some TLC, bit of wear and tear, but hopefully, fingers crossed, she will make it next year.
Yeah, sometimes, like they say, sometimes all they need is a rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a bit of
she
time
just stopped being herself, so we went, oh, let's give her an MOT and check she's all right.
Yeah,
because she's precious.
She's a little bit special.
Yeah, worst comes to worst, she's a mare, so she can give me a nice foal.
That's always the benefit of mares, isn't it? You can always kind of utilize. But anyway, like, I know I've said this to you before, but to just qualify for that is an amazing achievement in itself. So even if you don't get there, that qualification is like I'd have it on my wall.
Mum said she'd be quite happy if I turned up, did the dressage and show jumping, and didn't go cross country.
Yeah, you just turn up just for the lols, and just
for the bits we can do.
Just go for the champagne and the course walk with the professionals. I'd be well into that.
Exactly. A couple of photos. Oh, I came here.
Yeah, a couple of photos in the dressage.
Yeah,
job done, isn't it? That's what I just said about Frickley. So I went to Frickley about 2 weeks ago, and that was the first championship course I've ever really gone to, and mine's only at 80 level. My goodness, they are up to high and quite tricky.
I wouldn't want to be doing the hundreds and things like that.
No, I mean, they do. You like kind of read it, and people say if you get to a festival or a championship, for 80 you really need to be jumping 90, and for 90 you really need to be jumping 100. Yeah. And I kind of thought, nah, probably not. Yeah, they really are quite scary and up to height. So well done you for getting around there and getting in the top 10.
Yeah, Fell is known for being big. And I just went, if we get over a few fences, it'll be fine. I mean, it was causing massive issues because we'd had so much rain and people
Yeah.
weren't studding up enough, which
But
was a good thing because we managed to stud right that day.
yeah. So there was people slipping and falling.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm surprised they didn't cancel, but I think they just kept it running because it was an area festival.
Yeah. And
It was bad.
they've been kind of bigging those up this year, haven't they? The area, because it's like the new way of qualifying for grassroots. So
It's a very odd way, but it's also quite nice to have the occasion.
yeah. What I would say, what do you think about that view then? What's your view on the way they've changed how you qualify for the grassroots?
I'm not sure. I did used to do the other way, and I just found a lot of people who had multiple things. We would have so many rounds that the same people were qualifying. So it was quite nice that it was over a bigger course, so it actually preps you for badminton a bit.
Yeah.
So I think it's better, but that's just me.
Good. And it's nice to get to kind of the area festival. So for people that don't qualify for badminton, you've had a bit of that experience, haven't you?
Yeah.
Of kind of, like I said, the experience I had at Frickley was like, oh my god, you know, the dressage is so lovely dressed and everything's so nice, and it's a great atmosphere to be around.
And doing a 20 by 60 test, so many eventers don't get to do that because we do 20 by 40s all the time. Yeah. So it was so nice. A lot of people were like, oh, I get to do it in a big arena, which was really nice. Yeah,
it just pushes you. It gives you something you feel like you've achieved to get to something, haven't you? Even if you don't get to the grassroots. So yeah, well done you. Anyway, well done. So you are an avid Vive ambassador, and you're now one of our sponsored riders. So congratulations for getting that. How are you finding it?
Very exciting.
How are you finding it at the moment? I imagine it's nothing much has really changed.
Not much has changed yet, because that was only a week or so ago.
Yeah.
But it's just brilliant.
That's why I jumped on to trying to get you on the talks, because I was like, right, new sponsored rider, we'll get you on for some.
She's chatty, she'll come on.
She'll come on. I've spoke to you on messaging before. She'll come and talk to me. But no, well done. If anybody's got any questions, the chat box is open. Amy, I've seen you put there. If in doubt, kick on. And this is what I'm learning. I think that is mentally for me so hard, because I can be a little wussy when I'm riding, and I'm
exactly the same. Like when I get nervous, it's almost like I can't feel my legs.
Yeah.
It's such a weird feeling. It's like I can't use my legs physically. Like I can't kick.
Yeah, I know. I joking or lessons, it's kind of be like, do your legs work? I've had that so many things. I'm like, no, I don't think they do. Actually,
I think my instructor's so used to me. She's like, come on.
Get your leg, got more leg. I'm gonna have a t-shirt that literally just says
it's
more
always
leg.
the answer.
And I'm beginning to think that everything is just kind of like more leg. So what have you got plans then for the winter? What's the winter training schedule? I know you're saying Betty's on a bit of rest and recoup at the minute, but
so she has to have a tooth out next month. Hopefully it's coming out. So once she's back in work, lots of training. My instructor on Monday is literally moving like 2 minutes down the road from me. So I imagine I'll be on boot camp.
Oh, nice. So you're not going to be getting away with anything. You'll be straight.
No, she's a very scary lady. As lovely as she is, Mum told me, I think it was yesterday, she said, oh, she's moving down the road on Monday. I was like, I better start jumping again or I'll be in trouble.
Yeah, she'll have the schedule down for you. And what were you saying the plans are with Tom, the youngster? Is that
just getting him out to see the world? I need to get a bit braver at riding him.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah, when you bring them on from such a young age, even though you forget where they come from, you also remember certain things that happened. So I took him to a clinic and he just wasn't ready for it. And the instructor who was teaching, she put a spread up and he hadn't started jumping spreads, and that knocked his confidence massively. And now in the back of my head is, oh, he doesn't jump spreads, but he does. And he proves it to me. He goes out and jumps this massive spread and goes, yeah, I can do it. What are you worried about? But but you just sort of cling on to the bad bits rather than going, wow, that's the horse that bucked me off on my first ride, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? You always remember the bad bits, because I always think it's like your brain it's self-preservation. Your brain saying, don't do that again, because you're putting yourself in danger. The good bits you tend to forget, and the youngster situation is really, I'm finding it massively hard at the minute. Just, it's so, at times, I can't even explain it. Like, you've got to take the little wins, because it's so soul destroying.
I mean, I took him for his first group pack today, and it's a case of they all just went from walk to canter, and Tom just went, oh, okay. It's like, oh, you don't just bob off. This is nice. And I was saying to Mum, I was like, so another horse I'd be riding would have just bombed off with me, and he just went, oh, okay. And you sort of go, oh, that's really nice that you don't do that.
Yeah, I think you've got to, Amy said a great thing for me today, you've got to get the trust in them. You've got to understand how you can push them, how far you can push them. And with your established horses, you kind of know them, don't you? Inside and out, you know how far you can take them, and when they're doing certain things, what behaviour they're going to do. And with the youngster, it's a lot of the unknown. And I think that's scary. I think
it is.
You just don't kind of know, like, if I put my leg on, is it going to go ridiculously crazy?
I was having a problem with him in July, and he was just throwing his head up and bolting, which turned out to be a tooth problem. But he then went, oh, I can use that as an excuse. And it's taken me until 2 weeks ago to go, if I put my leg on, you stop doing that. And now he hasn't done it since. He's just learning the trust.
Yeah, because I've had the same problem. So I had with Mo.
Really?
He would literally, I've had his teeth checked, because I thought it was a tooth problem. He would literally go like a llama, head in the air, and run forward. And I was kind of like, oh my God, you're scaring me at the minute.
Yeah. I turned him away for a couple of months, because I just can't break myself at this point.
Yeah. And then somebody kindly sent me a message on Insta and had seen a video, or I sent her a video. And she said, I know it's hard, but you need to put more leg on. You need to hold him steadier in your hand and just put your leg on and trust that he'll start. And so I thought, today I'm going to be a big girl today. I'm going to put my brave pants on, boy. Because otherwise I'm kind of like saying to my mum, oh, I'm going to sell him. It's too much.
Yeah. I've gone through all that in the last few months. And then you get through it and you go, oh, what was all the fuss about, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. And so today I was like, right, it's make or break me, and kicked him on, and he was just like, oh, okay. He started, and then as soon as he started doing it, just held the contact and pushed him through it, and he was like, okay, we've got to work now. Yeah. And I think he's just cheeky. I think he's clever. I think that's how he's learned. Yeah, I think he's learned that actually, if I do this, Mum gets off.
Yeah.
And she stops working me. So, and today we came to heads, and it's like, no, mate, you're gonna work. And it was really nice. So I'm keeping him at the minute.
Yeah. I'm at that point. It's like, oh, you can stay a bit longer.
Yeah, I said to him, like, you can stay a bit longer, mate. If you keep this attitude, you can stay. The stable's there. If you don't, then we'll
always fine when you say, oh, I'm going to sell you. They all just suddenly behave.
Yeah, it's like they know. Kind of like they know, oh shoot, I've kind of reached my limit now, where I can be naughty 4-year-old. Yeah. Emily Mills is saying, I brought my horse on. Well done, Emily, because I'm feeling you. It's very, very hard. Would you have another one, Emily? Would you buy another youngster?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll send you mine.
Yeah, I'd probably buy something bigger, although it's nicer. He's what, 15-1, 15-2, so he's a nice height that I can sort of go, get back in your box. But he's just like slightly too small at the moment, so I'm hoping he'll grow a bit more. But yeah, I definitely have another youngster. I prefer producing them than sitting on something ready-made. I've tried it. It just, my whole thing, I have to work off trust. And I find it easier to produce my own horse than sit on something that's done stuff already.
That you don't know, really.
Yeah.
And Amy's putting on, if anybody gets Mo, it's me. I'll send him, mate. Right. Pack the lorry up. She's a far better rider than me. She'll sort him out in 5 minutes. He'll be jumping hundreds by the time she's finished him. I think that some people said to me, would you prefer a ready-made horse? And at times I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Would I
I
like
also
one to-
know that I just prefer the horses I've got.
Yeah, and then you think, well, actually, do you get as much satisfaction out of a ready-made one rather than producing one yourself? And probably no, you don't. You get a lot of the little bits. Like today, I feel on a real high because we've trotted beautifully in a circle, and it's amazing. And I think you wouldn't necessarily get that from a ready-made. So yeah, maybe we're just as crazy. Emily's saying it took 5 years. It took time. This is what I struggle with. I want it done tomorrow, and I know it's not.
I had that issue when I had Houdini when I was producing him. It was a case of, why can't you do it? I was so young back then. I was sitting there going, why? Like everyone else does it. And it did take me about 5 years for him to click, and then you grow out.
This is why it's kind of, it does take you so long to get to a level, doesn't it? Because like I think, so Emily, what is your goal? And on eventing, what would be your ultimate that you'd like to get to?
1 star.
Yeah. But is that novice? That's like novice level, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in between like 100 and novice at the moment. I was having a conversation literally with my mum today, and I said, it'll probably take me till I'm about 40 and 50, but I will do it.
And that's the thing. It just takes you, because I'm trying to understand the difference between, because people say you might be able to educate me now, Emily. People say they do intermediate, advanced, and then you get the 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. And is it just, that's FEI on this? So yeah,
FEI is the 1 stars and all the stars, and then BE is the intermediate and advanced, which is the equivalent to those levels.
Right. So for your star eventing, you have to be registered with the FEI.
I think you do if you're abroad.
Right. Okay.
If you went to France, you have to have a special FEI passport. But if you compete over here, because you're from over here, you don't have to have the passport, I believe, at the lower levels of the stars.
It's a BE and its rules are a minefield. I've got the book somewhere, and I think, actually, you know what I got told off for at Fricklin? I keep getting told all the time, I'm an old duffer, and they keep saying to me, read your rule book. And I'm like, oh, I will do one day, mate. I didn't realise you couldn't canter through the start box.
No, we have a starter down here in the south. I'm actually helping on Saturday, and he hates it when people canter through the start box.
Yeah,
I mean, he will literally scream at people if they do it. So everyone around here isn't allowed to do it till you get told off.
Well, I learnt my lesson at Frickley when I've got a very nappy horse, so you've got to kind of keep him going forward, or else he naps back to the warm-up. So I was thinking, right, get him going forward, and he just screamed at me, do not canter through my start box. I was like, sorry mate, okay, I might not get through it then.
Yeah,
we did. But yeah, everybody's I learned that you can't do that. See, every day is an education.
Yeah,
is what was I was looking through the things now. Nicola's got a 16 and 17-year-old, and the 17-year-old thinks she's a 4-year-old. I've got a 27-year-old who's retired now, and she still thinks she's runs the yard. And
my 23-year-old's the same. He's so naughty.
Yeah, my old mare is just like, she's like the matriarch. She thinks that the boys should listen to her, and they do, to be honest. They're dumb enough too, so rock on. Yeah. Amy's got an 18-year-old, believes she's a youngster, and acts like, oh, Amy, I've met Amy's horse. She is phenomenal. One of them, you have them dream horses that you'd love to take round somewhere. Sammy is my God, she's one of them. She flies over fences. Crazy, honestly, like big fences. And I'm like, no, not for
Is
me.
it the horse in her profile picture?
Yes, can you see it?
Yeah, looks amazing.
She is. I've done a hunter trial, not with her, because believe you and me, Reggie's not at that level. And she flies around. Amy, you can see you're still on my wall. So me and Amy met through Stilla's ambassador program. Amy got through, I didn't, but I still keep her up there because we made the paper and I'm sad. And if anything happens like that, it's straight on my wall.
Yeah, you've got to put it on the wall.
Yeah, or else, I might never make the Yorkshire Post again. So
yeah,
my parents will be proud. I'll have that on. I'll have that buried with me in some kind of like pharaoh. All this will be buried in my tomb. So yeah, oh yeah, so does Emily is saying, so does my 26-year-old. Why do the old ones always think that they are the absolute boss of the yard? I keep saying, like I said, mine's 27, 28 now, and she's a Welsh cross Arab. And I keep saying to my farrier, I think this year might be our last. And he's like, no, I still go and see horses. I still trim horses that are in the 30s that are Welshie cross Arab. He says, you've got years of this one yet.
Yeah, my Welshie's the same. He's Welsh cross thoroughbred. And it's like, oh, maybe they miss this winter. I mean, and then he comes out of winter and he's like, I'm a spring chicken.
I know. I always think maybe this winter she'll go down a little bit, and she's had a good life, but no, she comes out of it like she never has. And he's the boss of the yard. He's been there since he was born, and the oldest there. Well, he's earning then. I'm saying he's kind of earned that. Sammy was 13 before she did anything though, and isn't the most confident, but ride her forward and she's ace. XC, she's only just really started. Well, Amy, you must proper put some leg and ride forward, because I would say you wouldn't even notice that Amy's doing that, because that mare just flies. And also good luck, Amy, because Amy's competing at Elland on Sunday. If in doubt, leg. So have you got any competitions coming up then, Emily, or is that kind of with Betty having a bit of R&R?
I've got a few Tom competitions. I was going to go out competing Sunday, but I've decided against it. I think I've got quite a lot coming up in October, hopefully. I haven't entered them yet. I'm one of those people that sort of waits the last minute.
I'm waiting for payday, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Eventing's expensive.
It is.
I want to do 2 more. I want to do Askham and I want to do Norton Disney, and then I'm going to do, that's it. That's enough as my bank balance can cope with. And the season's done then. We can... Go on, sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just... The dog's barking, sorry.
Sorry, I thought I interrupted you then.
No.
So yeah, the conversation, if in doubt, leg, that's what we need to learn from tonight. If in doubt, put your leg on. So right, we're coming to near the end of the session. No more questions for Emily. To close out then, I always ask, you've got to give one piece of advice. It can be anything ridiculous, anything that somebody said to you that you think, I'll keep that, because I do like good motivational words of wisdom.
I have to go by anything is possible.
Love it. Is that like a Disney one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love Disney. I'm a proper Disney girl. So
gotta love it, Disney.
Anything is possible. Put your mind to it.
It certainly is.
Yeah. Well done you. You've done so well this year. You should be super proud of yourself where you've got to. I've loved following your journey, and I just cannot wait to see what you get up to over winter. I'm now going to be interested in Tom to see how he goes on, to get some tips.
Yeah.
For, unless I said
you can watch me do it badly first and go, don't do that.
I can get some tips, and then you can send them on. So no, thank you so much. Good luck with anything you do, guys. I will do a post afterwards and put Emily's details on there if you want to give her a follow. It's well worth it, if not just to look at some fantastic photos of Emily and Betty going through some pretty meaty eventing combinations, I have to say. It does look...
I try not to look at them. I go shut my eyes.
They'd be on my wall. They're absolutely fantastic. But no, thank you for your time, and good luck with uni as well, because you've just started that, so you just keep yourself ridiculously busy.
Yes, how I like it.
Good. Well, good luck for next year, and hopefully we can catch up with you soon. Thanks guys for joining, and it will be in, not next week, we're doing it every 2 weeks now, and so I hope to see you all soon. Have a good evening.
Thanks. You. Bye.
Thanks, Emily. Bye-bye.
Bye.